Dude, it's so over. It is so over. I don't know if you're looking at the charts right now when you're watching this video, but I'm looking at the charts right now, and Bitcoin has crashed all the way down to $121,300. By the time you're watching this, Bitcoin might have crashed down even lower. It's clearly over. Clearly. All right. Okay. All right. Enough of that. I know like 10% of you have no ability to hear sarcasm, and so when I get sarcastic like that, you're like, "Oh no, you're actually saying it's over?" No, I'm not saying it's over. But my last two Bitcoin updates, listen, I'm not going to sit here and be like, "Bro, I told you so," because like what we just saw in Bitcoin's chart, I'm on the 4-hour chart right now, and what we just saw was just like it was designed to suck us into the Uptober lore, which Uptober is a real thing. The fourth quarter is a real thing. But like on Friday, I started talking about these bearish divergences that were showing up on the charts. And what happened? Well, we kept on pumping. And then what happened after that? We pumped even more. Okay, so if you watch my Bitcoin update from Friday, what you'll see is that I called for Bitcoin to go down to something like, I don't know, $116,000, $117,000. And I felt stupid in the moment because, oh, it's October, you know. I was pointing out these bearish divergences, just like when Bitcoin was back, when it was all the way down to like $108,000, and I was pointing out the bullish divergences. What do we see now? We see bearish divergences, and I was like, okay, back down here at $108,000, $109,000, I was saying you'd be dumb to sell your crypto. That was a fantastic time to buy. And up here, I'm saying the same thing, but the opposite, you know, that it's not a good idea to buy crypto, and you want to take some profits, go ahead and take some profits. Because why? Because these bearish divergences that were showing up, and this was like a 4-pronged bearish divergence. At some point, for sure, we were going to come down. Now, the question that I'm asking myself is, all right, it is Uptober. I'm going to keep saying that word because it's true. We are in the fourth quarter. And so what are we going to see from here with Bitcoin? Are we going to see a lot of buying pressure come in, a lot of people buying the dip, or are we going to see what we normally see? And I tend to think that we're going to see what we normally see, which is just we're going to wait. Okay, so I'm not buying this dip yet. All right, I want you to hear that from me. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not buying this dip yet. And if I miss out on it, so be it. But this dip, I'm going to treat like every other dip, which means I'm going to wait on the 4-hour chart for us to get back into oversold territory if it happens. And then ideally, I'm going to wait for some bullish divergences. And here's my opinion about those bullish divergences if they come, is that they're going to come at a much higher price than what we saw when Bitcoin was at $108,000, $109,000. All right, so we're not talking about I'm waiting for $108,000 Bitcoin. No, we're not getting that opportunity for this quarter. I'm quite convinced of that. But what am I going to wait for? Well, I mean, I am going to wait for those bullish divergences, whatever that looks like. Let me go to a little bit of cleaner chart. So a couple things. Actually, let me go back to this chart. This is a fib chart from swing low to swing high. When was that? It's always weird when I look at the daily. You know, that previous all-time high in August, Bitcoin got to 124 and change, went down to under 108, bounced off the 20-week EMA, 20-week SMA, and then rallied a little bit, but then dumped right back down, put in a higher low. I mean, still, guys, very bullish structure right now. All right, we are in a clear uptrend. It's just things got wild. Things got way, way too hot there. And so where do we go from here? Now, again, waiting for the divergences, waiting for those bullish divergences. But, you know, could it be that we go down to the golden pocket here? The bottom of the golden pocket for Bitcoin on this swing is, you know, between 118 and 119 is the golden pocket in general. Could that be it? Could that be the bottom? We'll see. You know, let's wait for those divergences. Number two, could be a back test of this 7-year trend line. We don't necessarily have to get there because we've had plenty of interaction already. You can see it was major resistance in May. In May when we got there, let me bring the RSI down a little bit here. Okay, so you can see that in May, you could see December, January, 7 years of resistance. We finally broke through. So when we break through both times, both ways, support and resistance, it becomes weaker. We don't have to back test that at all. But that would be, if we were to hit it today, that'd be 116 or something like that, 116, 117. That's entirely possible. It is entirely possible that we would go back down to the 1-teens. And honestly, we could even go lower than that and maintain bullish structure. I just don't think that that's what's going to happen given where we are broader market-wise. We are in an incredible position right now. We are at what I would say the early stages of we've begun to see the signs of a blow-off top, at least in equities. And I don't think crypto is going to get left behind. Ethereum, same deal. We saw these bearish divergences play itself out on Ethereum. Let me draw that real quick. So Ethereum, bearish divergence, very not too exciting. And did I get sucked in a little bit? I mean, I did make a video, an ETH update, calling for maybe that we would start flirting with that all-time high again this week, but the market went in a different direction. Okay, you know what? Maybe next week, maybe the week after. But Ethereum is still well above where I projected it would be at this time. You can see my projection here. And I was expecting Ethereum to hang around $4,300 for a week and then start climbing. And all right, we're ahead of schedule. Maybe we're going to revert to the mean a little bit, but bearish divergences. So what do we wait for now? Personally, for me, I'm not quite buying this dip again. I'm going to wait for some bullish divergences. Okay, so just some refreshers. All right, the S&P 500. I need to extend this here. This is very bullish. All right, reclaiming this trend line, reclaiming it is very bullish. And the NASDAQ actually looks even more bullish. So NASDAQ, tech stocks, all of that. That's I didn't draw a trend line. I probably should have at some point, but the NASDAQ's looking even better. I have a projection for the S&P 500 to go to around $8,100. I keep saying dollars. I meant points. And for the NASDAQ, I think from here, the NASDAQ's going to outperform the S&P 500. And by the way, I've gotten really excited about stocks because here's what I think is going to happen. I think we have a very small window for altcoins. I'm not talking about Bitcoin or Ethereum or a lot of those that are going to get ETFs. I think we have a small window for altcoins, but we still have several months, maybe even a year, maybe even 18 months in the stock market. Because I know, all right, we're lots of froth. I know we are way... Not way. We're too hot right now in the stock market, but this thing can keep going. In 1997, people thought the dot-com boom that would you have asked them if there was a lot of froth, they would have said yes, and then the NASDAQ kept roaring much higher. So I'm not sitting on the sidelines right now waiting for this to crash because, by the time it peaks, assuming it hasn't already, which it most likely hasn't, the crash could even be to where we are today, Probably not, probably lower than that. But no, I'm not messing around with that. So we are still looking just fine and not surprised at all that Bitcoin is doing what it's doing right now. We'll see where we bottom out. Not buying the dip, not yet. So keep that in mind. We'll see where we go from here. But I don't have much else. Zhao Wetson. All right, even with all the bearish technical divergences, we're on the same page. All right, I love this guy. He's the man, and he does not have enough followers, even though his follower count is growing pretty well. So even with all the bearish technical divergences, Bitcoin is still very bullish in the short term. It's not me saying this, it's what the data shows. For now, there are no apparent signs of capitulation. The network remains uncongested, and miners are in a neutral zone. More volatility, either to the upside or the downside, is needed to motivate those old market whales to move. Bitcoin bubble risk. You could even see on this latest move to $126,000 for Bitcoin, we didn't even get to the previous levels of excitement when Bitcoin hit 108 in November, December, when it hit 112 in May, haven't even come close to that. So there's that. Bitcoin short holder NUPL, net unrealized profit loss. We're not super overheated. We're not too negative. We're a little bit, a little high on Bitcoin, but we're not anywhere near where we were in March of 2024, in November of 2024, and not even at the point where we were in May of 2025. So another one that looks good. Bitcoin market capitulation index. I'm not even gonna look at that one real quick. Let's see, Bitcoin market capitulation oscillator. We're just not there. All right, we are not at a point where you should be thinking, oh no, it's over. Now we're gonna go down 85% in the bear market. We're not there yet. And a big thing that I just keep on thinking about with this is like, we have just been slowly taking the stairs up with Bitcoin. Let me go to the daily chart. It's just been slow and steady. This has really just been performing like a stock over the last 2 years. And so, if it's performing like a stock, there's a shift I think we need to make where maybe it's just going to continue performing like a stock for a little bit. And at some point, I think it's gonna blow off. So keep that in mind. I did want to address one other thing, and somebody asked me this during my live stream. I give no credence to this. It's dumb. It's simple addition. All right. So if you're seeing this making the rounds, October 6th, that was the peak. Absolute nonsense. Okay. In December 2023, an anonymous user, anonymous, predicted Bitcoin would hit an all-time high cycle peak on, it's October 8th when you're watching this most likely, October 6th, 2025. Yesterday, Bitcoin hit an all-time high on, even the mind-blown emoji, October 6th, 2025. If the pattern holds, the bear market low will happen on October 6th, 2026. Oh no. Did you miss the peak? Yeah, this would have been exciting to hear in December of 2023, but not so much anymore. So here's the logic. All-time low, 2025, all-time low. That's even, you're calling it an all-time low. It wasn't all-time low. It was the bear market bottom. At least according to whoever whatever this person is saying. Bear market bottom 2015 to all-time high to cycle peak again in 2017, 1,064 days. All cycle peak in 2017 to bear market bottom in 2018, 364 days. 1,064, 364, 1,064, 364. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. All right. Whatever. All right. Interesting. So an interesting response here. I find it very funny that handles that ought to disseminate credible information would spread false, unverified posts all for clicks. So you can see, here's the truth, at least according to ChatGPT, which I'll take over some random person posting in a message board. Bottom to peak, 1,067 days. Peak to bottom, 360 days. Bottom to peak from 2018 to 2021, 1,061 days. Peak to bottom, 365 days. And then what? Low of November 2021 to high of November 2023, 359 days. Low January 1st, 2023 to December 2024, 716 days. Low 2024 to high October 5th, 2025, 622 days. It's been whatever. The math isn't quite mathing. It's nice and neat, nice and tidy, but no, it's not even true. One, it's not true. Two, has anything of this cycle been normal? All right, I would appeal to that. Yeah, Bitcoin's kind of been normal. Bitcoin has kind of been following 2017, but no, not really. Nothing's been normal. Even 2017, we just kept on bouncing off the bull market support band, the 20-week SMA, 21-week EMA. That has not happened this time around until things got too far gone. And then altcoins, let's not even get started on altcoins. It's been a mess. So I am marching to the beat of my own drum. All right, 4-year halving cycle stuff, I'm just not really going to give it any credence. Maybe even a part of the sell-off is people trying to do that kind of math. And all right, let's let them sell off, especially when there's all these bearish divergences and whatever. I will, if I were to have to bet my entire net worth that we've already peaked or we're going to peak, it would be a no-brainer. You would even if you gave me 10-1 odds that we've already peaked, in against me or whatever, that I'm not a gambler, aside from the fact that I buy crypto. Anyway, no, there is no odds that, not no odds. Like, you want to give me 10,001 odds, but 1 to 10, enough of that. You guys get the gist, right? I hope you do. If you don't, then comment, I don't get the gist, and maybe I'll try to explain it to you better. Hey, here's a recommendation. So Part-Time Trader on X. We've become friends of each other, I suppose, and we follow each other online. I just love his stuff. He's actually helped me a lot with looking in areas that I've not been really paying attention to. Like what? Like so I used to be a huge precious metals bug, and he's been a huge precious metals bug, and he's the one who turned me on to buying precious metals miners. And man, my miners have been killing it this year. And so I really enjoyed watching this video. So the username @PartTimeCharts. And he's posted some really strong bullish data for these 3 tickers here: Snapchat, Neo, and Riot. And somebody asked me, all right, Snapchat, really? It's in the charts. It's not I don't know anything about Snapchat. I've tried using Snapchat once. I'm too old, I suppose. I don't get it. But I look at a chart like this, and I look at a very clear, and he looks on pretty long time frames. We're talking about, look at the time frames here. It peaked in 2021, at the end of 2021, and it's just been clear accumulation for Snapchat. I like this chart. And that's just one example. You'd be shocked to see his projections for Riot blockchain. That's a Bitcoin miner. And oh man, oh my goodness. It's way higher if you were to throw out a number. It's at $20 right now. In April, it got down to like $6. His projection is way higher. I guarantee you, if you were to throw out a number, it's way higher than that. So check that video out. It got me really fired up about those 3 stocks, and just about looking for opportunities where I'm not used to looking for them. So check it out. Give them a follow. Otherwise, that is all I have for today. I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful rest of your week, and I will most certainly be seeing you in another video. Peace!